Hey, everybody. Welcome to our second workshop for the Boss Academy. We're very grateful to have Alan Estrada here from Open Web Academy. Check out what they're doing at ow.academy. Really cool stuff, helping a lot of builders. And Alan has been building some cool stuff himself. And we're just going to review quickly how to participate in Boss Academy and get you going to earn builder badges. Then I'll hand it off and he's going to dive into smart contract interactions using the Near API available to you in the Boss dev environment and Ethers.js, which is also available for interacting with Ethereum contracts. And just keep in mind, throughout summer program, if you ever get lost, our homepage is academy.near.social, and that should have all the information about upcoming workshops and office hours, which are daily. But we have a homework assignment Friday, just as a highlight. You are building customizable community pages, and you can submit at nearbbuilders.com/submit-hw1. And this is our first homework assignment, and you'll earn a badge for submitting whatever you build. And you can get a bonus badge if you go above and beyond and meet all the requirements. And we really just want to see people interacting with DevHub, which is our place for coordinating the development of these components and applications across gateways, which we'll explain. But these badges represent your completion of the homework for now, and we'll expand the badges later in the summer. And we're actually building the badge system as we go. So if you want to get involved with that, let us know. Here are the requirements, though, for this homework assignment. You have to use 2 of the available APIs, which are in the documentation. And we reviewed those last week. If you need to get clarity on that, just ask in the chat or in the office hours. This has to be a unique community page, not just a fork, and it should represent a community that you wish to support. And we're doing one-to-one pair programming or group sessions. Whenever it's convenient for individuals or teams, we can schedule those. But we also have daily office hours every weekday at 14 UTC, which is 10 a.m. Eastern. And we're thinking about introducing more office hours, maybe a second daily office hours through Discord. Excited about that. And last slide here is just to get you in the right place for the chat. We have an off-chain group on Telegram where we are sharing updates on the program. The office hours are coordinated there. And here are the 2 main resources that you have. DevHub, which is where we're submitting homework assignments. You can find that, and the documentation. If you are just wanting to learn, getting started and try out some tutorials, head to docs.near.org/boss. And remember, everyone is building together, and we're very excited to learn about what Alan is building and how he can help us build more. And so I'm gonna hand it off to him and take it away.
Okay, thank you very much, James. I'm really excited about what Boss Academy is building right now for the community that is interested in developing more about this. So I think I need that you give me the host. So if you can give me host, I can share my screen and so we can start. James, are you there? Because okay.
Yeah, just made you the host. Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah, don't worry. So here we are. Sure. So you can see my screen, everything. So now you should be looking at the full screen. If you can write on the chat or confirming if you. Okay, perfect. So the first thing is thank you very much for joining this workshop, and thanks for the invitation to the Boss Academy. We are Open Web Academy. We are a community of people that is building the Web3 from Latin America. So I'm Mexican, I'm based in Mexico, but we have people that collaborate with us from other countries like Argentina, like Venezuela, and some other regions of Mexico. So we are always trying to make easier the task of how to develop the Web3. And in the other hand, we also look for giving high valuable content that could be in the state of the art, or can be in the top of mind of the people. In this way is why we have been developing on NEAR since a while ago. And right now we have members of Open Web Academy that have learned about blockchain operating system. We made hackathons around blockchain operating system here in Mexico. Well, here we are. Right now, the main topic that we are going to cover is interacting with smart contracts with blockchain operating systems. We are going from the general, so maybe some of the generals you already know about those. I'm going to the specifics that we are going to use. So, feel free if you have any questions, so we can start solving any doubt that you could have. The first thing is how the app works. I think we have this general idea. Most of the decentralized applications that we are interacting right now are use this same architecture for being built. You have your app, and your app is it have a smart contract that the smart contract is allowing to save the state of the application, so you can store information like financial balance, like number of tokens, like NFTs, like votes in a DAO or any other information, but it's still running in a very small piece of information from your application.
Hey,
we have
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I think you need to share screen again. That's my bad. I was trying to adjust.
Okay.
My fault.
Okay. And can you enable chat real quick too?
That's what I did. It accidentally took the screen sharing away. My bad, guys. Sorry, Alan.
Don't worry. So just tell me that we are fine and we can go forward. So you can see my screen.
We're good now.
Okay, perfect. So I will go back. Normally, when we have the app, it has this kind of architecture that is around having a smart contract that is saving pieces of information like votes in a DAO, like NFTs that you're holding, like the state of auction that is happening for an NFT, or any other information that you could have. We have right now many DeFi use cases that are taking use of smart contracts, but thanks to NEAR, we have the possibility to build more than that and to start interacting in real with what Web3 means. We have, in the second place, IPFS. This works to save large elements. So it's not practical to start storing in images, videos, or even big documents like PDFs that will be long. That's not practical to be stored in the blockchain, because the field is that it is too big and the pricing could go unaffordable for the people to start paying for that. And the second is retrieve that information from the blockchain. Could be gas consuming, could be managing this information is not a good idea, because you will be facing many other problems due to the size of all these elements. So we prefer to store this in a decentralized storage system in the way that we could still preserve the principles that information should be decentralized, even with pros and cons, and also having this available for anyone that could want to recover this kind of information. So right now we have also all the front end, and this is specifically the topic that we are going to be reviewing, is all our front end. If you go to SushiSwap, if you go to Lido, and you visit their sites are stored in a server, and this server is in a physical location, and this physical location can have both the risk of being in one single place or managed by one single identity that at some moment it can goes down and leave people without access to the sites. And the other is that you are in the point of having regulations, concerns around the information that is being stored in a server of any country that you could mention, and this could make that you could limit what you are developing on Web3. So what is the solution for this specific part where we are storing the front end on a server? So let's remove the server. That's the short answer that we could have. Right now, and thanks to the capacity of storage that is available on NIR protocol, we could save a large amount of information with a really low cost in the NIR blockchain. We can store pieces of front-end code, and this front end could be retrieved directly from the blockchain. So basically what we are doing now, the smart contract evolves and is not just saving the decentralized apps states. Now we are also recovering the front end code, and this is what more or less works is what we call BOS. So BOS is a more structured front end that make uses of this front end code. But the important thing is this: we are saving part of this information to be persistent on the blockchain. Maybe this is not the first time that this happens. We can think that there has been stamps in Bitcoin since its launchment, even the cypherpunks that make Bitcoin start putting some ASCII codes on message that were saving in the blockchain of Bitcoin. But as Bitcoin is a blockchain of first generation, it is not able to handle all these large large storage of information and having a real evolution over the time. Right now with NIR providing a fast, scalable, and affordable for the payment of storage, we are building BOS. And we are keeping still the storage of large elements in IPFS. So you can be using this to keep storing your images or videos that could be used by your BOS components. How this works, I think maybe if you have been taking workshops around this, you could have a general idea of how this is working. So basically, we can start with the concept that we have widgets. A widget is basically a piece of code written in JavaScript that is stored in the blockchain. So the first thing is we store a widget on the blockchain. Later, we can make multiple widgets that will make different tasks to start building our website or the front end of our application. And we can put all these widgets on containers. These containers could have different widgets that we order to see which are useful for the solution that we are proposing. And all this is being renderized in a gateway. A gateway is taking all these widgets and putting needs of libraries, indexers, or other Web3 resources that could be useful. In this point is where it can change. You can have a network provider like a wallet library. You can call this NIR wallet. You can call it wallet selector. You can call it MetaMask. And you use the wallet library that you choose in this BOS gate. As you can see, even when all this information is stored on NIR, it's not properly that you should have a near wallet and a wallet or even that you connect to the smart contracts that are developed on near, because both is have the vision to be multi-chain. It can go to any chain, and anyone can start storing their front ends on near and using for any chain that they want to do it. In the other side, the thing important about this talk is these same both gateways. At this point, you can find those that have available the near API JS library. So this allows you to make calls to the near blockchain. And also we have both gateways that have the Web3 JS library. So basically we are having like a basic framework where we can deploy multiple widgets to and use a common set of tools to interact with the smart contract. I like to compare this like how WordPress works. If you came from Web2 and has been working with WordPress in any moment, you see that WordPress is like the site that is holding a set of tools, widgets, and libraries that can go inside WordPress, and WordPress can start doing the magic of creating your site. This is the same, but we are making it persistent, we are making it decentralized, and we are looking for building the Web3. So this is a very general idea of how it works. If we talk especially about the near API JS, so obviously we have this reduced version. You can have a boss gateway that have the near API JS, and the basic idea that we could recover around this are two things. The first one is view methods. So you can recover data or the state from the blockchain on near protocol. And the second one is a call method. Really, I would prefer to call it like a writing method, because it really does that. So when you go for calling a method on the protocol, basically what you're looking is to change the state of what a smart contract have right now. But well, however you want to call it or write it, when in the library you will find that it's a call, you will be able to start interacting with all the near all the methods that a smart contract on near is having. So that's as easy as that. For the second one, we have Web3 JS. So we can find right now another kind of gateways, even, and I think this is something interesting to tell you. You can even create your own gateway to any blockchain. We can talk that a little bit later. So we have EVM compatible library. So Web3.js allow us to interact with any smart contract that is running on an EVM. Starting by Ethereum, obviously, is the most important, but we can also go with Aurora, we can go with Moonbeam of Polkadot, we can go to Venable Chain, and it's basically the same. I mean, if you have experience developing on Solidity, Web3, MetaMask, and all this stack of tools, you will find very useful interact with both, because this will allow you to add a layer of decentralization on the front end, and you will find a very similar way to develop, like in the traditional method of a front end in Web2 or developing for a both gateway. EVM compatible library. Basically, here we have two things that are happening when you interact. I know there can be more, but going directly to what is important for this workshop is we have call methods. So you can recover the state or the data that is stored in the smart contract. So you can use these call methods to start looking what is happening on the smart contract. And the second one is allow you to sign transaction. So once that you have an idea of the methods and the the actual state that is having your smart contract. Now you have the possibility to sign a transaction that we call a method in the smart contract, and this method will verify what is happening, and we'll go forward with interacting with that. I can think like minting NFTs can be an example of signing transactions. So you basically call the minting method, and the minting method will allow you to modify the state to mint a new NFT. So no more than that. I think that I will go back just for showing one thing. Is, as you can see, here we have near API AS, we have Web3 AS, all of these connect with blockchains, but you can integrate in your own, you can create your own gateway, or your own gateway that connects to any blockchain. So it's not mandatory that you use NIR or you use Web3 AS to start interacting with blockchains. You can use any blockchain. So the question right now is, what will be the next blockchain in BOS? So this is a question that I can leave it to you. It's not, this workshop is not properly about how to integrate a new blockchain on BOS, but this can be like brainstorming that came later around which is the chain that requires of a solution for the centralized frontend that could be useful for many people. So it will be Bitcoin, it will be Solana, it will be ICP, Polkadot, Sui. We don't know. I think I know that there are teams that are already developing front ends for other chains. So here the imagination is up to you. It's your limit, and you can start looking how to modify these widgets. But however, we are not modifying any gateway at this point. So we will be using the gateways that we already have. So just for showing some examples of what is being developed as widgets on BOS, we have Near Horizon. Near Horizon is the accelerator of Near Foundation for startups. So all of the site, you can find it on near.org. Near.org, all of it is a BOS gateway. So through this gateway, you can access to these multiple applications. And Near Horizon is an example of an application made based on widgets and interacting with the Near blockchain. So all of what you can see, the projects, the requests, the contributors, the backers, all the projects are being stored in the Near blockchain and are being recovered from them. So we will go in one moment to analyze how this is working, but the important thing is there is not a database. We are not storing nothing as it is in Web3 in a database. We are going directly to the blockchain to storing information. This is more valuable to do it in Near protocol because, again, the storage is very cheap to afford. The second one that I want to show, this is another gateway that we have available. This was made for Ethereum Denver. The repositories are still available if you want to use it, but you can go to boss.tg. Basically, they modify it. They give better looking for this gateway. If you can see, it's not. It have a different user interface. I like more this user interface, to be honest, but it doesn't have as many functionalities as near.org, but well, that doesn't matter. What we can look is we have this gateway. This gateway allows us to interact with EVM compatible blockchains. So you can interact with Ethereum, with Aurora, with Moonbeam, with BNB chain, and any other EVM compatible chain. So all the components that you develop will be used for start interacting with these contracts. So we know that many of the smart contracts that are already developed on the Web3 ecosystem are in Solidity, are EVM compatible applications. So if you already have an app that is developed on Solidity and you want to add a persistence layer like it is creating a widget on Boss, you can go directly and create it on boss.dg. So really amazed with what this is capable to do. Happy that it is being possible to be done on NIR. So going directly to the demo, I don't know if we have some questions. I saw something here in chat. Well, if you have any questions, so feel free to ask. And if you don't have any question, even later you can, at the end of the session, you can start asking, and we will be happy to solve that. So basically, what we can do is let's go to NIR.org. NIR.org, you can see it is first is a Boss gateway. Second is a social network. Third is a decentralized application. How can I? A collection of decentralized application being built on Boss, and all of what you see is being stored in a blockchain. So this is really interesting because right now anyone can take the code of NIR.org, make a fork, copy it on GitHub, and you can deploy your own gateway. And this gateway will not have all this design. This design and the front-end code will not be on that GitHub repository that you fork, will be on the blockchain. So by any case, if something drops like NIR.org is not available, you can go to GitHub. But in case that GitHub is not available, you can go directly to the blockchain through NIR API.js and start making calls to recover all the code. So that's something that is really amazing for me. You can see everything is happening. Everything is happening in chain. Just for making an example, is to see is I'm happy, and I will post this, and just you can see that all this is interacting with the blockchain. It is asking for a deposit. I will save data, and this will ask me for signing the transaction. So as you can see, the storage for writing is basically nothing, but it's useful because it will persist on the time on the blockchain. Going directly to the examples that I have for today's, I can show you, and this is really cool because you can go to my profile, and inside my profile you can view my components, and inside the components you can see all the components or widgets that I have been developing. So the first thing is this that we call Bookstore. Bookstore is basically a smart contract that is built on NIR and blockchain operating system. In this smart contract, what we do is basically storage the name of a new book, and this new book will be shown here, and people will be able to start interacting with this. I can make an example book just to be able to that. Warren Simpson, author Alan, 2023, price 0.3, stock 4. So I will save this information. As you can see, I have to confirm this transaction. The gateway is asking my wallet to confirm this transaction. I confirm the transaction, and for a couple of seconds, and all the information will be stored here. So you can see here is stored all the details that I write this. But how to know what is happening on the code? It is as simple as you can look at the widget that I have. I will go again for my profile. I can go Bookstore, but I can click in this part to view details. View details will show you all the code that is made for this contract. So you can here view the source, and here is it. So we can take this code and we can start making changes to what is happening on this code, or maybe you can make a fork of this in Nearpad or other developing tool that is available for us. Breaking down what happened on the application is, let's do it, is we have a contract on the new blockchain. So it is called bookstore. I will make this bigger so we can just have an idea. We have a contract that is called bookstore. Bookstore have methods to start listing all the books that we have, and also have methods to create new books. So if we define that we have this contract to interact, I have to be honest, I think that make it very easy to anyone to start developing over the smart contract. So if you want to recover the information that is in a view method, you just call the new library, call the method view, and you put the contract, call the method of the contract, and you send the parameters that you are that is requested by the method of all books. As this doesn't require parameters, so this recovers all the books. We do a couple of ordering, but no more than that. So again, we have a method that calls the bookstore smart contract, and this method calls another method that is called books for owner, and this gives and we put here the account that we are using for signing this transaction. In this case, is alamtest.near, where we sign these transactions, and so basically this recovers all the books that I write on the blockchain. Later, for matter of the front end, we make some initialization, so we can initialize a state of the objects, and especially here will be the box. That's more related to what front end is doing. And well, later here we have a trade book method. Basically, this is called once we write the form. Writing the form, it will be asked to this function to start calling the methods in the smart contract. We do a couple of verification of what is happening. If the book have a title, have a description, have an author, have a year, and all of what we require. In case if it fulfill all the information that we require, this will call the method create book on the smart contract. So again, we call this variable that is bookstore boss.near, and we call the method create book, and we put all the information that was given in the form. There is another method to buy book. So in the buy book, we basically ask the contract to be buying this book and to start discounting the amount of books that you have. Again, we have near, we have call, we have the contract, we have the method, and we have the parameters. Maybe you haven't seen this in the past, but this is the amount of gas that is being consumed, and also the amount of tokens that you are sending for this transaction. So, and here we go. So basically, you can see that we have two views methods that are being used in this widget, and we have three calls. No, we have two calls that happens to start interacting with the smart contract. So you have the option to create books, to buy books, and the front end requires to recover the information of all books and books for owner. The rest, I think, is pretty much simple. It's very similar when you recover the information for any other source, like a database or any cloud provider, or I don't know, a JSON, something like that. Once that you order all your information and it is stored in the current state of your front end, basically what we do is that we start showing this information on a simple mapping that is happening. So here you can see we have that is mapping using data and key. We have data and title, data and author. Sorry, we have title of the books, we have author of the books, we have stock, we have price of the books, and for that we have the option to call the method to buy books. Also, you have the option to be your books that are already bought by you. So here is a list that is being recovered by the books that you are already owning. That is the the second view method that we did, and there you can deposit all this information. I don't know. I really want to ask if there is some question at this point, but I can suggest that the more easy that you can do to start making your own widgets and contracts, it's take one, or maybe you can take this same widget, fork it, use Nearpad for that. You make a fork, or you recover from the site directly, and with the fork, you start interacting with your own smart contracts. There is a lot of components that are already developed on how to interact with these contract methods, specifically on Boss. So you can use it as an example. There is documentation, you can review it, but in the experience, I think the more easy is to start forking, modifying a bit, and start testing, and again, making a loop around that on forking widgets to do your own. Well, this is around the near.org gateway. As mentioned, you can have your own gateway. I can show to you also this nearpath.dev gateway that is more focused on the developer experience, and you can start also modifying the widgets that you made on near.org. So I will go directly to this. I think I'm logged in, yes, I'm using the same account. So you can see I have my same account. I have here the same widgets that I have available, and I will again go to Bookstore, and there you have it, and you can go and you can start looking at the code. And here is another widget. It is Near Social. Near Social, you have the option to fork widgets, and as you can see here, you have the method, and you can render this preview. So I hope that I think that could be a lot of information, but once that you start interacting with this, it is very simple to start moving from one side to another, because all the information is the same across all the gateways. So right now we saw 3 gateways. We saw Nearpad, we saw Near Social, and we saw Near.org. And the interesting thing is all have the same code. Okay, and right now we have this for start interacting with all the Near smart contracts. I want to ask, really, you can interrupt me at any moment. If you have any question, ask me, and I can make a space for start answering all these questions. If you don't have any question, we can start going forward.
Yeah, we actually didn't have the opportunity to send all the links. So we're going to be sending all the links to the bookstore right now, the Ethos.js documentation. That's the chats are about to be flooded with resources. But if you can continue.
Okay, thank you very much.
Screen again. We had to. We gave permission to everyone but ourselves accidentally. That was my bad again. So you need to reshare, and there will be more links available now because we can chat with everybody and share them, and you can keep going with any questions that come through the chat. But of course, you know, we can answer questions afterward.
Okay, it's fine. I want to show this that we have. As mentioned, this is a gateway especially made for the interaction with Ethereum EVM compatible network. So if you have never connected to this, I can disconnect just to see. You can see that you have now the possibility to use MetaMask, Phantom, Welcome Connect, XDeFi, or Ledger to start interacting with the EVM compatible widgets. So this was made for Ethereum Denver, but it is still working. Well, in Open Web Academy, we have also a copy of boss.dg running on our domain. We are just opening more gateways to keep the decentralization of the frontend. So if you need tools to develop, just ask for those. I'm happy to support what you're doing. For this, we made an example. This is basically a project that was made during the weekend for the Aurora Etch and Code hackathon. We have this minting of NFTs that is available on the boss.gg. The first thing that you can see is that it is asking me for connecting to Web3. So once that I click this button, I can go to MetaMask. And well, right now I have connected. Just let me verify that I need to be on Aurora.
Alan, sorry, we need you to reshare, and we gotta go back to giving you the host permissions. Apparently,
Wait, you can't share right now. No, he can share.
Oh, he can share. Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah. So sorry. Okay. So basically, we can start from here or from the past, or there is.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's worth going through again. Sorry about that, and it's worth getting into more detail. I think this is really cool what you're building.
Yeah, I mean, really, we just missed the visual behind you showing Boss GG.
Okay, so it's good if we start right here, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's perfect. So Boss.gg is another gateway. This is made for Ethereum Denver. We have a fork of this running on the website of Open Web Academy just because it is useful to have this like sandbox of widgets to start testing. Well, the important thing around this gateway is that it is focused on EVM compatible widgets. So I will just show you how this works. We disconnect, and you have here a search bar where you can look for widgets. I will show you first this project that was made by us during the weekend. Basically, it is an NFT minter. This specific widget is a specific minter, but it is part of a game that was developed on Boss and Aurora for the Aurora Etch and Code hackathon. So we connect with our wallet. You see MetaMask Phantom Wallet Connect. It is MetaMask, the one that I am using. I have linked this account with the Aurora Plus services to not pay anything for deploying contracts and interacting with the widget that we are using in both. I will just change my network for Aurora. Okay, I will just reload to, okay, everything is working. I have this last Burrito ID. So if I meet a new Burrito, this will be, I don't know, we can call it Pancho, I will call it, very Mexican name. I will meet this Burrito, and this meeting will ask directly to me to confirm the transaction on the MetaMask, taking advantage of Aurora. I don't pay anything. Well, this returned to me, and now I have last Burrito ID. So this is now is running the minting process. Once that the minting process is done, it will return to the original screen of minting to start minting more burritos. So this is like something that you can do if you are launching an NFT collection and make very simple for the people. So here also shows the contract that we are interacting. Going more than that, I will go to play. I will put the token ID of my NFT. If I put another token ID, this will not. If I put other token ID that is not of, in which I don't have ownership, will not allow me to interact, but this was recently minted by me, so here is my burrito. You can see I can do interactions with this. I can eat. I can give to this burrito. And well, it will go, so I confirm in MetaMask, and it starts interacting. So it's very creative what you can do. You can see that it's not only like like reading and updating information on a blockchain, you can make things more animated than just an input box that will have only text. I will start forking this widget so you can see the source code. This follows the same as other times. As you see, the gateway itself includes the Web3 JS library, so we don't need to call that library or we add that library in this widget. Import, sorry, you don't need to import that library in the widget because all the widgets that are being run on boss.gg already have that library. We have here a couple of what we did is we have this that is the virtual pet contract that allows the minting, the feeding, the playing with the NFTs. We have this AV that is available from a Pinata source that is an IPFS provider. This means that we need basically like having all the structure of what are the methods that are going to be called on the smart contract, and after we can use this to be used on all the development of the widget. So now that we have the contract, now that we have the structure that have our smart contract, we can start interacting with the smart contract on itself. We call to the library that is ethers, and this create a new interface to the smart contract, and this can start be using. Well, we start later to start interacting with all the methods that we have available. I think the more important methods, because this is a long widget, are available more downside, just like this. Sorry, this isn't the minting, is the interact. So I can go to it. Okay, so when we click the button to start eating, basically what we are doing is that we are calling the contract. We are giving all the information around what are the methods that are going to be called, the contract, the structure that is required, and the signer that is going to interact with the contract. And after we call the specific method that we are going to start using. So again, you can go to another method that is the sleep, the same. We call the contract, we give the parameter it requires to start sleeping on the burrito. This will guide us to the MetaMask to sign, and will return once that information is done. And we have also the idle functionality that is happening when the parameters that are found on the burrito match the enough to be idle on the bin. So basically what you can see is all of these buttons are interacting with the smart contract and are giving the front end required to start making this game possible. So this is more an extended example of what you can do with a widget, but also you can make more simple interactions and not as complicated as this on the front end. I can show to you some widgets that are also useful for the ecosystem. That one of that, I think it's the Lido widget. As you know, Lido is the biggest liquid staking provider that is available on NEAR. Well, this is an input bot, but as well as we are interacting with Lido is an important widget that is available on the blockchain operating system ecosystem. The same, we have the Lido contract, we have the structure of the contract that we are calling. Well, we have the methods to start recovering and writing on this smart contract. Some question, okay, we can. Okay, I will just close this. These comments about this widget. So in Lido, you can preview, you have all the functions related to get the staked balance, submit ethers, have all the states of the balance, and you can start staking your Ethereum to get ST Ethereum. So as Lido is really big application on the Web3 ecosystem, it's important to know that you have this available. This is for Ethereum. Surely, if I try to interact with this, will not be possible because I'm in the Aurora mainnet, but you will be able to start looking at what other networks can you provide for creating these widgets. So specific questions developers ask me: are there any limitation versus other JS and what is supported by VM? How to estimate gas for near API JS? How will you go building a component? Okay, starting by the last one, how will you go about building a current DeFi F component? I think Lido is the perfect example of what you can do. If you can share the links about this component, is almost the same as interacting with other Ethereum virtual machine. So this one, even one of the examples made for the Ethereum Denver, so you can start using this. Yeah, there is the tutorial for the Lido component. As you can see, it asks me directly to chain to the Ethereum network, so I'm able to interact with this. Are there any limitation versus other JavaScript and what's supported by virtual machines? The short answer is yes, can be, but the solution could be improved. Why? Because many gateways, in general, blockchain operating system is a new technology that is being launched since a couple of months that has shown a big potential to change things. As any other new technology, maybe there can be broken pieces or pieces that are not still connected. So as far as we have tried, you have to be creative on the solutions that you do for creating a widget. Maybe you can, maybe you need to move some of your information to outside of the widget. Maybe you need to make a smaller widgets that are later gathered on one single widget that contains other widgets. Like I can show you, me and my teammates made these containers that have two widgets of the gains network. As you can see, is stake gains and manage stake on gains. But if we fork this widget, basically what you can see is a little, a very, very small code that have two widgets inside of those. We can review those widgets in individual, and this will have more code. So I think that you have to be creative if you have any blocker that you could find, but also there is a big community that is already developing for blockchain operating system. So if you find some blocker, ask the community, maybe some other member of the community already have the blocker and can help you to solve. How to estimate gas for near API? Yes. The main thing is that we have a limit of 300 teragas for being on any near transaction. So I can go back. I will go back to this of the bookstore. I will show you bookstore. Here is it. As you can see, the near code for creating a book doesn't require an amount of gas. This last two parameter is an amount to be paid when you do a transaction, and the previous one is amount of gas that you're going to use in this transaction. These two are optionals and depending on your transaction. For most of the cases, the default will goes with the half of the 300 teragas, and you will be able to do it like here in Create a Book. But when buying a book, if you have a transaction that is require a lot of gas, just go for the limit. If you don't use it all, you will have the rest. The rest will be returned to you. So it's like you don't require to calculate the gas of every single transaction. Just for those cases when you are going out of gas, there will be a good idea to review how it is working your method to see that it is designed correctly, so you don't have any problem of gas happening when you call these methods. But I think this is something more about the design that is happening in your smart contract more than what is happening in your front end. In your front end, if you want to go by default, just put the limit and that will work. So I hope that this can solve your questions. I know that we are going out of time, so just for the last part of this and to finish the slides, in Open Web Academy we have 2 tutorials that are made for blockchain operating system on NIR and another for blockchain operating system in Aurora. As mentioned at the beginning, we are pushing the community in Latin America, so these tutorials are made in Spanish. If someone is interested to translate those, we are happy that you could do it, and we can publish that also in our Twitter accounts and Medium, so more people can know about this. But or you can use directly the Google Translator if you are interested. We look to see if more people is interested, so that we can consider to translate this to English. We have also video reviews that are happening on Spanish. We explore the blockchain operating system, all the widgets. Well, here is our channel. We have all this educational content that is available for the community. And here we are. I'm happy to solve any question if there is any. And if not, I'm very happy to be here to share more about blockchain operating system and to see how the community is growing.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Alan. And yeah, that poncho is adorable. So great work on the project and really, really good stuff here to help everybody learn and build some cool stuff. Make sure you get your homework done by Friday to earn your badges, and we'll see you again next week for another workshop. And we have the daily office hours. If you're needing any kind of support, you know where to find us. And thanks again, Alan. Thanks again to all the builders out there, and talk soon.
Thank you. Thank you. See you soon. And thank you all who hear us.